guys today. And for this first video you're seeing, we are covering the Pittsburgh Steelers. Yes, the Steel Curtain, the Steel City. A lot to talk about with this team. There are some needs, some glaring needs that I think that they should go after in this free agent market to plug up a couple of holes, because they have a handful of holes at the two positions of need I've identified for this free agent period. So, as always, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's talk some Steelers, shall we? So, the Steelers, really good defense and an offense that just couldn't really match up to it, and even the defense took somewhat of a step back this past season, but I would attribute a lot of that more to just some injuries that they were dealing with throughout the season, guys coming in and out, and guys missing a significant amount of time. So with that in mind, I have a couple of people that I would like to see Pittsburgh chase after that I think would make sense money-wise, and also just seems like a Steelers move, in my opinion, for them to go after. The Steelers do not in any way rub off on me as like a team that is willing to spend top dollars on all these different guys and things like that and make like those splashy, sexy free agent picks that you'd expect from some teams. But I do think that they would spend money in a good place, like a strong positional need, or maybe go after someone who showed talent and production for a good value. And that's kind of where I sit with both of my free agent targets here. The first one that I have in mind is going to be for the offensive side of the football, and it's going to be offensive guard Laken Tomlinson. Yes, the San Francisco 49er guard, who I do expect to end up hitting free agency because money is a little bit tight for San Francisco. I do understand that they have Jimmy Garoppolo, and if he's gone, that opens a lot of things up. However, there are, you do have to allocate money for other positional needs as well. And I think that there is a possibility that just Laken Tomlinson ends up being the odd man out for this offensive line that they have built over there, which is a very impressive one. I do have a feeling he's going to hit the free agent market. And if you're the Steelers and you're able to get him, lock him up. He's 30 years old. You get him on like a 3-4, maybe even 5-year deal if you're really trying to just keep him around for a long time. I think he would be an excellent addition for what has been an O-line that's basically kind of come apart the last couple of years, and out of nowhere too with that. They have the running back that you need for this like ground and pound type offense they're trying to move into the direction of. When I was reading through some articles regarding the Steelers before making this, I think one thing I came across a couple of times along the way was the conversation of how ownership essentially told the Steelers, we need to get back to running the football effectively, and hence the whole reason the Najee Harris signing happened, but you can't really do it the way that they want to because David DeCastro retired, Maurkice Pouncey retired, and Villanueva ended up leaving. Like, you literally lost 3 of your starting offensive linemen within the last couple of years, and I don't think the Steelers are really prepared for it either. Like, it just kind of came out of nowhere, especially the David DeCastro one. Maybe that was something that they were more likely aware of internally and that he was mulling that decision. But like, to me, when he ended up retiring, I was like, whoa, DeCastro is retiring? Say what? Like, that's crazy. I remember him coming out of the draft with Andrew Luck thinking, man, I would love if the Colts got DeCastro with Luck. But anyways, regardless, again, I think he would be a great fit for what they're trying to move into. Laken Tomlinson is one of those offensive guards that he is so versatile and so just able to do everything that you could ask for in a power running scheme that I think the Steelers are going to try to switch to more and have to rely on now, because they obviously are going to be bringing in a new quarterback, whether it's through free agency or through a trade or something like that. Funny enough, I'm talking about pulling Laken Tomlinson from the 49ers through free agency when there's rumors now spinning that the Steelers might be looking at Jimmy Garoppolo as their quarterback too. But I think a guy projected to earn roughly about $9 million a year or so, give or take, would be an excellent start to rebuilding this offensive line, and it's not going to break the bank. Laken Tomlinson would be, in my opinion, like the big splash free agent pickup that the Steelers make this offseason if they were to go for somebody on the line. I really like the idea of it. I think, he's so good at what he does, and again, the versatility, it's a great building block and a great like reset button for your offensive line to start rebuilding it and build a wall for Najee Harris to run behind. You couple that with the ability that he has in the run game, also his ability to pass block. He only has 7 sacks allowed in the last 3 years. I mean, 1, he'll open up the running lanes for Najee Harris. 2, he's going to be able to help protect whoever it is you have back there under center. So, I mean, why not? I don't see a reason why they couldn't chase Laken Tomlinson. Again, I kind of feel like he might be available. San Francisco sitting, at least the last time I looked, still about $4.4 million over the cap. And again, with Jimmy Garoppolo potentially gone from the team, that could end up, freeing up like $25 million. And there's a potential Tomlinson doesn't end up leaving if they have that money to spend on him. But there's also rumors that Jimmy Garoppolo might not even leave San Francisco now. I mean, this is the time of year where like rumors are just flying everywhere. So who knows necessarily what's going to happen. But if Laken Tomlinson is in the free agent market, the Steelers better be right in that conversation in trying to get him to come to Pittsburgh. You take him from an organization like San Francisco that's been doing really well and come to a historically winning Steelers team. I don't see why he wouldn't want to do that if he's getting the right money either. Second guy that I have picked out for the Pittsburgh Steelers, this guy is more of like he's a budget, great value, great production type of guy that I really think would fit what the Steelers kind of do in terms of spending money and free agency and just how they kind of work things out. And also considering the scheme that he's in and where his strengths lie, Rasul Douglas of the Green Bay Packers. The Packers have so much money trouble right now, and they're trying to figure out how to pay Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams like $80 million, that Douglas feels like a cap casualty and a guy that's not going to get re-signed just because of the time that they're spending trying to bring back Aaron Rodgers and Devontae. So with that in mind, I would say you're bringing Douglas in on like a 3-year deal or so. I believe PFF had him written down for roughly about $6.75 million on average for his contract that he should be earning in free agency, which is money considering the production that he had this past season. Dude had 5 interceptions. He only allowed 2 touchdowns. And couple that with the fact that he held a 50.8% completion percentage when sending the football his way. This is a guy that for the money makes a lot of sense for a team that has Joe Hayden, Ahkello Witherspoon, Arthur Maulet, all as free agents. You're trying to, figure out who you're going to bring back and who you need to move on from. Rasul Douglas might not be like the true legit number 1 corner, but he's a guy who can play to his strengths in a zone scheme like what the Pittsburgh Steelers run, because they are a very zone-heavy team, and that's where he does the best work, in my opinion, and based off of the numbers that I've looked at and from what I've read from other people as well. This is an excellent fit. You don't need to spend a ton of money. You get a guy who, while he's not the greatest corner, and everyone kind of talks about like his emergence story, he was on the practice squad and yada, yada, yada. But I mean, he's been playing pretty solid. He's been in the league now for 5 years. And I mean, when I was going through his statistics, like he has a couple solid seasons, and then he drops off for like a couple of years. But in those couple of years, he drops off. Like he takes a step back, but then progresses back to the season that he had today. So, I mean, maybe it was just like a poor schematic fit when he was in Arizona, when he was coming from Philadelphia to there. I don't know. But ultimately, this past season, his definitive best season, the fact that he was able to force 5 turnovers through the air, and he only allowed a couple of touchdowns, and literally it's 50-50 whether you're completing the ball throwing his direction. For a team that has 3 free agent cornerbacks going up, and you don't really know who you're going to bring back, I could imagine they may move on from Joe Hayden because he is getting up there in age. I would expect maybe them to bring back Ahkello Witherspoon. And I'm not really sure what they would do with Arthur Maulet. But, I mean, you have 3 free agent corners. Someone's probably going to have to go. And Rasul Douglas offers production for value and I think makes a ton of sense. And, again, you can bring him in for just like a 2 or 3 year deal because he does have somewhat of a rocky history, quote unquote, the last couple of years. So you don't have to commit to him and you don't have to commit a ton of money to him. And he would be an excellent guy for the Steelers to bring in to help rework that pass defense and in that secondary. But those are the 2 guys I have labeled for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I appreciate you guys for watching. My Steelers fans, let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below, and I will see you all next time.